Hey Brick Bloggeteers, Will here, and today we're looking at set 21337, Table Football. Now this LEGO Ideas project comes with a whole lot of minifigures. The first thing you build is the stands, and as you can see, they give you enough minifigures so that every single seat is filled. Every minifigure also comes with two heads so that you can have a male or female version of whichever you like. There are 4 different skin tones throughout the entire set, so you can have lots of different types of representation. Now, as you see, all these minifigures don't have a head holding on to their other choice, and that's because those are all stored underneath. So that makes it very easy for cleanup and still a nice display. And these also include the various heads that go onto the field. Speaking of which, let's get to that. So this is a very heavy set. I measured it and it weighed over 3 pounds. And as you can see, you got 4 bars, each side being controlled by 2 bars. The entire build of this thing is very straightforward. So if you're looking for something that has unique mechanisms like the fairground sets, you're not going to find it here. Instead, what you find here is a lot of reinforcement. This is probably the most sturdy $250 set I have ever put together. In fact, it kind of surprised me because the weakest point are the ball returns. And it's not necessarily at this point. They're actually reinforced now. It's while building them, I got so used to everything being so sturdy that I was kind of rough with them, and that's what was breaking off on me. But now that they're fully reinforced, maybe this front panel comes off, maybe. The neat thing is the ball returns have slopes all in the interior so that when something drops in, it pushes the ball so that it's in the easiest position for you to reach in and grab. Speaking of the balls, this is an interesting change. Previously, the marble maze had the ball that was too light, and so therefore it didn't really work well in the mechanism. I think they changed them because these feel a lot more weighted. In fact, when I click them together, they even sound like a marble because of how dense they are. This means that they're not going to necessarily bounce in crazy ways when you're playing the game inside. In fact, they'll actually work more like a foosball table. So I say there's not a lot of complex building involved in this. However, there are build challenges that they had to overcome. One such thing is, how do you get a minifigure securely into a foosball table? Well, for this, they actually use neck brackets that connect into this bar directly. However, that wasn't enough. Instead, they had to create this extra bit to add not only a paddle for you to hit, but also weight, so that when you let go, it puts the minifigure back into the right position when it's not being played with. The added weight also allows you to actually spin and get some good action when you're really trying to hit the balls. Now, speaking of the reinforcement, you see they actually did a really good job creating these strut lines, and all these lines come where there's actually seams on the field because the field is made up of giant tiles that are all printed. In fact, everything in this is printed. You also got on the legs the little tires. It's a very simple 1x1 round plate with a tire over it. It just grips the table very nicely and neat, and I'm starting to see this in more and more sets, so glad to see it here as well. So the field is printed And as a little hidden surprise, underneath the center two tiles are another a couple of printed tiles that is just there for anyone who has built the model. A feature I also like is the score keeping sections on either side. These are actually built using a T-connector with Technic. So that means they're actually going to grip the Technic axle and not slip and slide, because you can probably get pretty rough with this set. And once you score a point, you just move one of the balls over. You have tracked a point. So honestly, for $250, I'm not impressed with the whole building mechanisms that I have been in the past with sets of this price range. What I am impressed with is the sheer number of parts. You get a mess of brackets. In fact, you get a glimpse of plates. Basically, wherever you see studs, there's brackets underneath there, and that goes all around the table, and it helps reinforce vertically. Also, there is these new tiles that's just a half circle that surround all the bars on the inside and the outside. So that's a neat piece to play with. Otherwise, there's not much in the way of new things unless you get excited about printed pieces. But there is a lot of pieces in here because, like I said, it's very dense. I think it weighed something like 3 pounds, 4 ounces, and that was just the table. Again, another thing that will bring fans in is the sheer amount of minifigures, 22 of them with 44 different heads, half male, half female, and 43 hair pieces. One is bald, so that's why you're missing that one. And having a nice display where you can actually store everything makes it look really nice. It still might be a tough sell for those people who aren't in, say, the game rooming foosball table or soccer, because that's really what's going to get you into the door with this. The advanced builders, and you're not a fan, this might be a pass for you. But hopefully that gives you an idea of what to expect. Well worth the money of $250 if you like foosball and soccer. Again, it's set 21337 Table Football.